New legal fallout from Ebola in the U.S. Remember nurse Nina Pham? Well, she managed to beat the disease after catching it from a Liberian patient in Texas. Now, the Dallas Morning News reporting that she's getting ready to sue the parent company of that hospital over allegations of inadequate training as well as privacy issues. Joining me now, defense attorney Eric Guster and trial attorney Rachel. Good to see both of you.
Good to be here.
Absolutely. You know what, Eric? I'm going to start with you, Eric, because I want you to tell me your reaction when you first heard that Ms. Pham was going to be suing, and tell me if you think she can win.
I was not shocked because Texas Presbyterian sent their nurses into a healthcare minefield and said, fend for yourself, good luck. They had a duty to protect their nurses, to train them from this Ebola outbreak because they knew that it was going to happen eventually, and they had a duty to protect them, and they simply did not. So I believe that she has a very strong case to hold them liable for their lack of preparation and their lack of knowledge.
Rachel, how do you see it?
I'm with Eric. I'm team Nina all the way on this. I think that nurses are on the front lines. I think that they should have the protection to be doing their job properly and to be protected themselves while doing their job properly. I mean, apparently Ms. Pham was asking for hazmat suits for days before they were ultimately provided to her. If they had had the proper training and had the proper protections, she might not have gone through what she went through in this. And sure, she signed up to be a nurse, fine, but the fact that I have a license doesn't mean that you should throw me in the Indy 500 with no helmet, no training, and say, go for it. You know, you signed up to drive. So I think she has a case here.
But listen to this, guys. The Dr. Daniel Varga, he is the chief clinical officer for Texas Health Resources, and he testified before Congress in October, you probably know, and he's saying that the company shared an Ebola advisory that it received from the CDC. All right, before Mr. Duncan arrived with its personnel and said that the Presbyterian staff was trained to manage Ebola. Eric, can this lawsuit end up on the doorsteps of the CDC?
I don't believe this will end up on the doorsteps of the CDC because Texas Presbyterian, that was her employer, and they had the duty to protect their employees just like any corporation. And Texas Presbyterian, according to the information we've received and researched, they were actually looking up things on the internet on how to deal with this Ebola outbreak, because the hospital, from its management on down, they're supposed to inform their employees of how to protect themselves, how to protect the public and their patients, and they simply did not do that from what I have read and all of us know about this particular case.
Let me pull up a statement here from Texas Health Resources. That's the parent company of the hospital. This is from Wendell Watson. Here it goes, quote, Nina Pham bravely served Texas Health Dallas during a most difficult time. We continue to support and wish the best for her, and we remain optimistic that constructive dialogue can resolve this matter. Constructive dialogue. You say what to that, Rachel?
I think that they'd be fools to let this go to court. I think constructive dialogue may translate into settlement, and I think that that's the fair thing for Ms. Pham, is to have her be able to put this behind her and move on. This is a case where they didn't even tell her. The big issue here, to me, I think, is the fact that she was the second to last person next to Mr. Duncan to learn Mr. Duncan was sick, and she was his primary care nurse. That's ridiculous. She should have been made aware of his positive testing to Ebola as soon as everybody else was aware of it, so that she could make informed decisions and protect herself as best as possible.
Quickly, Eric, regardless of the outcome, how will this affect personnel there at the hospital?
Everyone will be protected from any type of outbreak like this in the future, because hospitals will make sure that if something like this happens again, that orders will come from the top on how to contain it and how to protect their staff. And she also has a HIPAA violation pending as well, because there was film of her in the hospital where they put that out in the public domain.
And that's where she's claiming that her privacy was violated. I do have to go, though, Eric, because I'm tight on time. But Eric Guster and Rachel Self, thank you very much, and we will talk to you again.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good to see you both.